Hi, I'm Monica Cesarato, a food and travel blogger in Venice. Welcome to Venice Meets, a series of live chats from Instagram every day at 6 p.m. CET. Today, I will be talking to Romena Brugnerotto, tour leader and travel blogger from Venice.
Hello, Anna. How are you?
Okay, let's try to do a
Hey, the air is getting better and better. I love it.
I don't know. I have also to do something for the color of the hair.
Vabbè, okay. We can't see that. The screen is not so high definition, so don't worry about it. Okay, so
Oh.
first of all, let's explain everybody. You are a full-fledged sommelier. And you are actually
Yeah.
also a wine teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does from the 2014. Yeah, also
Okay.
7 years. 7 years.
Okay. Yeah. 2013. Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you teach also wine for the Association of Sommelier in Italy.
Yes, actually, I'm the director of the courses they do because
Oh, okay.
yeah. So they have so we have two different levels on the degrees, and so I'm the director of the courses. It means that I'm the person that organizes the teachers, the location. I have to choose all the wines for the
That's a
lessons.
bad job, isn't it? That's a bad
Yeah,
job.
it's an hard job because we have to. Yeah, in Venice is not easy, as you can imagine, and as you
Of
know,
course,
because the first time it was a little bit crazy because you have to. Yeah, it's not. You cannot go with your car to the
of
cellar or
course.
to the shop and buy and then take the wine and the lesson. But you
Yeah.
have to manage with a delivery or something, and they are not so precise. They were not so precise.
Yeah.
I don't know right now.
Okay, so tonight we decided we were going to talk about two of the most famous Veneto wines.
Yes.
The Valpolicella, that is the oldest of the two, and the Prosecco. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with a funny question.
That we can't see because you didn't bring the other way around.
Okay,
So,
no, it's a
okay,
funny question because, as you know, I'm doing when I'm a tour leader, and
yes,
sometimes I do also some baccarat tour as you
yes.
do. And sometimes we were talking about wines with the clients, and they told me, "Ah, I have a bottle of prosecco in my house." Oh, yes. I said, yes, it was a present about 3 or 4 years ago. I said, okay. So I say, I don't know if you can. I think if it is already it is drinkable or not. But so just for reading, the question was wine FIQ. I have a bottle of Prosecco of 2017. When it will be good to drink, and
Okay.
and unfortunately,
We started with Prosecco then, yes.
yeah. And unfortunately, I have to say that probably it's not too good to drink at all at the moment. So
Okay.
first of all, yeah, Prosecco. I have some
We're
bottles
talking
here.
about, okay, before we talk about the Prosecco itself, because of course we're talking with the world right now, of course. Let's
Yeah.
explain. First, bravissima, where the Veneto is and the
Yeah.
area of Prosecco, the way people start where we are in Italy and where the Prosecco in Veneto is. Well,
Yes.
no, in
Okay. So
Italy.
they're not so big, but
Yes,
I think you can see something. Okay. Prosecco wine is made in the Veneto region,
yes.
and as you can see, we are in the very north of it, north, not very north, but north of Italy.
Oh, no, we
Uh,
are northeast of Italy.
Northeast, exactly. And here you have Italy, and here you have the Veneto region in the
Yep.
tail. So you can see the part where we have the Prosecco is the orange, yellow. I don't know what it is.
Prosecco DOCG. And we will see in a second the difference with the other Prosecco. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Because we have also we have the Prosecco made in two different areas regarding the DOCG, and the two different areas are the one in Conegliano Valdobbiadene and the one in Asolo Prosecco Superiore DOCG. Okay, so we are in the Veneto region, north of Italy, so it's very easy to see over there. And here we have also a map, a detailed map, with all the area of Prosecco. So you can find it, I think, also on the website if you look to check about Prosecco area. So talking about Prosecco, so it's made more in 9 different provinces of Veneto, sorry. But the most important area is the one on the Treviso area. We can say that. What I have to say, it is made just by one grape, so it's a sparkling wine, but it's very different from champagne. Just for saying that everyone knows about the champagne, because which are the
well, okay, no, don't assume that everybody knows about champagne. No, everybody knows champagne, but the method, okay. No,
yes, we have to say too. So Prosecco is a sparkling wine, okay, like the champagne, but they are very different wines. Why? So very simple, because I want to be very simple with you. Prosecco is made with just one kind of grape, and the champagne is made with 3 kinds of grapes. So you can understand that the flavor, the aromas, the perfume that came from, they are quite different between Prosecco and champagne. Also, the other main difference is that the re-fermentation, I mean the bubbles in the inside of the bottle of the wine, regarding the champagne, the re-fermentation is made inside of the bottle. Instead, on the Prosecco area, the re-fermentation is made in big cisterns. Okay.
Stainless steel tanks.
Exactly.
Stainless steel tanks. Yes.
Same tanks. Thank you. So so you have the first idea of the two that the two wines are quite different, not for the 3 grapes, 1 grapes, and the kind of re-fermentation. So for this reason, when you have a bottle of Prosecco, it's better to drink it.
Yes.
I mean that if you have a bottle of champagne and you preserve well, I mean in a cellar, not with a high difference of temperature or something like that, it could remain for 20, 30 years. It depends the kind of the quality for sure. Yeah. And the Prosecco is better that you drink the Prosecco of the year before. I mean, now I think that we will start drinking the Prosecco of the 2019, so of the last year.
Of course.
So if you have a bottle of a year before, you can open it and taste it. Probably it will be good if it was preserved well. Otherwise, you can use for cooking. I don't know, Monica, what you have to do if you can.
For risotto, you know, when wine is not perfect, you just use it for a risotto, or you add it
for meat, for cooking meat or something like that. Yeah, correct.
As long as it's not vinegar, it's okay.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Good to know. I saw good to know on the.
Good to know about the. I think about the difference and what about having to drink. Okay, good.
So talking about Prosecco, because we were talking about it, I mean the discovery or the first information that we have, they are quite old. I mean 1.5 centuries before. It was 1876. Yeah, that the first enologic school was made on the Prosecco area, so in the Conegliano Valdobbiadene. And the director of the school, it was Antonio Carpenet. That Carpenet Malvolti is the name of one big company that still works on the Prosecco area. So that is very important to understand. I don't want to say that the wine that was made 1.5 centuries ago was the same wine that we drank. Because the process, the technique, they changes a lot, and so the wine that we drink right now is completely different also from the wine that 30 years ago.
Adesso ho imparato che devo far così. Ok. 1876, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1876. was a Prosecco back then sparkling or was still o fermo?
I try to understand. I think that it was frizzante, so semi-sparkling.
Oh, just a naturally fermented then, without maybe
Mhm.
just traboso, do a little
Yeah,
bit of bubbles.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a semi-sparkling wine, probably.
Okay.
But it was made also in the still way. That was, yeah, normal to do on the area. Sorry.
Are you changing a
Okay.
slide? Are you?
No,
Are
I
you
was
changing the slide? Okay.
no, I was searching in my mind what I have to say. Okay. So first of all, that is very important. Visiting the area of Prosecco is very, very nice. So if a person appreciates the Prosecco, I suggest you also to go for a visit. Also, if you come in Venice and you want to and you want to understand better and taste different kind of Prosecco, I suggest you to move just from Venice for a daily trip, or if you
Mhm.
want, just 1 night, 2 nights, and give a look around all the area, because the area is very, very good. I mean, for the naturalistic, the environment that we have. And also on this book, just for because I have at home, for example, they suggest also 2 routes
Oh,
for
yes.
the people that love bicycle, because
Yes.
the area is very good also to go around with
It's a
bicycle.
beautiful area full of hills, but the hills
Yeah.
are not too high, so it's really it is a land of cyclists. Il Montello, that's what we
Yes,
call it.
yes. That they suggest you 2 different ways, but that doesn't matter. That's not important. The important thing is that sometimes the people they go to visit Venice for 10 times, and they say, "Ah, I visit everything." Yes, you can move from Venice. It's not
Yeah.
a pity. You can move from Venice, rent a car, or take a tour, because we have a lot of tours that are offered for daily trip, and go to
Mhm.
visit. Also because you can taste.
Yeah, I just wanna answer very quickly to Sai. No, Sai, there are vineyards in Venice, but not for Prosecco,
Yeah.
because that's what we're trying to explain. Prosecco is very particular, and Romena's gonna explain why.
Okay. Yes, we have not a vineyard of Prosecco in Venice. It could be the part of another of another discussion another day. So very important. Here we are, for example, a bottle of Prosecco. Okay, you can
Okay.
see over there. Okay, perfect. This is this company is by a friend of us,
Ours,
and
yeah.
yes, and the company, appunto, sorry. And the company is
Cosa Leeds, darling.
Pasalic, thank
Yeah.
you.
I bet you she was trying over wine before coming to talk. That's what's
No,
happening.
no, no. I'm quite strange today because it's not a very nice day outside. So,
Okay, tell me, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, you definitely know
yeah.
with it. So it's called
Yes,
a little prosecco maker in Refrontolo. That is one of the
exactly.
districts of prosecco. Yes.
And so they do different kind of, because I check on the website, so I do my homework, and they
Just in
have
case,
few course.
just in case
Yes,
Laura is watching and then she gets upset.
yes, 6 different kind of prosecco. Okay, so they have the most important one. We say about the because of the tradition and other stuff. That is the DOCG. Okay,
Yes.
prosecco DOCG. That is made in 2 different kind of, so extra dry and dry. And
Yeah,
then
and
they
then
have,
we'll go back to this in a second.
yes, I
Okay.
go back to this. And then they have, for example, Servo Suo, or the other bottle that I have, Servo Suo. So you see, different edition
Yeah.
of the
Of
Prosecco.
course, what needs to be said about the Consalita and above all the Servo Suo, the brand Servo Suo, is that they won a lot of awards at the prestigious event Italy, that is the biggest wine exhibition, definitely in Italy. I don't know if maybe in the world, but definitely in Italy. And they won many gold awards.
Yes, if you we were talking about dry, extra dry, so that kind of stuff. So the prosecco is made mainly in 3 different kind of let's say So brut, dry, and extra dry. So the most common one till some years ago was the extra dry. What I have to say that right now the thing that the kind of we appreciate more is the brut, or there is also some sellers that they produce the extra brutto, bruttissimo they call, because they say they are very little quantity of sugar inside of the wine. That's very important.
Oh, yeah. So let's explain the story. What it actually means, a brut, dry, extra dry. It's not a question that when you drink it, is either sweeter or is actually bitter. It is a question of what? The residues or level that is left after the fermentation.
Yes.
So you could find actually an extra dry that is not particularly fruity and sweet, and you can find a brut that is actually, let's say, not sweet, but pleasant, let's say, and not too...
Because, because the quantity of that sugar that remains inside is not a definite quantity, so there is a range in between you can stay, no? So it depends if you stay at the end of the range or at the beginning of the range. So it's a choice of the seller, of the producer, that decides how many sugar they want to leave inside of the bottle.
Mm-hmm. And so what happened? So originally we know, and I know because you told me whatever. Okay, I studied whatever. Okay. So originally the Prosecco was only in the area of Valdobbiadene. It was only a little number of little small villages.
Yes.
Now it's all over Veneto.
And not only Veneto, also Friuli, Venezia Giulia, yeah. Also because, we don't say that, but the name Prosecco is also the name of a village in the Friuli, Venezia Giulia. Okay. So probably, some of the...
Exactly. So what actually happened? Why...
But the Prosecco became, in the last, I say, 10, probably 15, I don't know, years, very famous all over the globe. So most of the people, they appreciate the Prosecco also because we were talking about champagne before. It's less expensive than it's less expensive of the champagne. So you can buy a good bottle of Prosecco, a very, very good bottle of Prosecco for I say maximum 15 euros. 15 euros are very
20, 20 euro Prosecco is the top, I would have thought.
We were talking about that.
Buy a very good one for really good, for 8 to 10 probably, really good one.
Yes, this is the range, 8, 10, 20 for the top of the DOC, DOCG, and for the one that the producer they do. So this is the reason it became so famous all over the world for the price, and also because it's more, I say, drinkable of the champagne, so the flavor is not so strong. So most of the people, they appreciate it. So you can just take off of the fridge, open, share with friends, with what you prefer, because the Prosecco, if you choose brut, dry, extra dry, it could be used for all the lunch, or all the dinner, also for the aperitif time.
From aperitif to yes.
It's not a thing that is hard to understand. You can just drink and drink, say glass after glass, without have to think about and just appreciate it.
Yeah, and we didn't say what grape is it? The main grape? Well, the only grape allowed?
Yes, it's Glera. It's called Glera, and it's produced in the area we were talking about.
Yeah. So go back to the story why we went. Yeah, it became famous, but so what's happened? Why is it? I'm saying.
Since it was so requested all over the world, the producer they decided to enlarge the area where you can produce Prosecco. So I mean that in the beginning it was in the little area I show you on the map. Now you can produce in other part of the region, not only in the hills, for example, but also on the pianura, on the flats. And also, so not only in in Veneto, but also in other regions at the moment in Friuli, Venezia Giulia. So there is a big discussion about it, and we forgot to say that also last year the Prosecco Hills, they became part of the UNESCO heritage. So that's very important regarding the marketing of the Prosecco, because as you can understand, that's a very important thing to say when you are a vendor of a seller of Prosecco all around the world. You say, okay, we are also part of the UNESCO heritage. So they enlarge the production. So sometimes it's very hard to navigate in between all the different sellers that they produce Prosecco. And this is the region we suggest if you want to come here to take a tour, because me and Monica, we we taste a lot of Prosecco before to, for example, to choose our so the best that we prefer. And so if you decided to come here and understand better, our suggestion is take a tour, because you go to visit the best seller, and not because they are 100 different styles.
And another thing that happened when they decided, when they enlarged the area, they had to, in one way, to preserve all the original area of production. So that's why we have got the DOCG that is only given to Valdobbiadene and then to Asolo, and everything else instead is DOC. What actually is, what does DOC mean, and what does DOCG mean?
Actually, they have just the best thing to say about that. It's regarding the quality of the wine and the different technique used to produce the wine. I mean, for example, the quantity of grape you have to use for produce the wine is different if you have a wine table, a DOC or a DOCG. So it's the quantity of grape, I say, and the different technique they use. Regarding the Prosecco, the DOCG are in the area that we say that is the area, the most important area, tour next week, the most important area of Conegliano Valdobbiadene. So it means the quality in the production, and this doesn't mean that if you taste a DOC or a DOCG, you say, they are completely different wine.
No,
we don't want to say that.
Yeah, of course.
And we don't want to say that the vini da tavola, wine table, are bad wine. That's not correct. It's not the point. They are the different technique they use to produce it, and the quantity of grape they use for produce the wine.
But also the DOCG was given to Conegliano also because they were the oldest area of production. Otherwise,
that's correct.
So easy for everybody to call it Prosecco, and then the consumer, the end user, will never know the difference by the two. And
also, we don't say that, but it's quite important because they have different idea about. No? Because sometimes the producer of the Prosecco, they use the word millesimato.
Yes, let's explain this. But in Prosecco doesn't exist. Sorry, guys.
No.
A lot of other wines, but in Prosecco.
It's only marketing. because if you remember what we say 10 minutes ago, is that the wine is the wine that you have to produce and drink. It doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense to mix different grapes of different years. Because
in Italian is usually given to a wine that he assures you that is made with grapes picked the same year. That's why sometimes come c'è scritto sullo champagne? How do they find on champagne? I can't remember.
On the champagne.
Okay, all right. So in other sparkling wine, in other wines, it could say millesimato, so you know that wine was made only with grapes of those year. For Prosecco, this is the norm. That's the way it should be done. So it's only another to sell you.
I asked sometimes to a producer why they use that word, and they say because they want to say that that particular year was very, it was very, very good.
Yeah.
And it was produced in the best part of the land they have. And so they use the word millesimato, but can use different words.
It's marketing. Okay, one little talk, very, very short about Cartizze.
What do you want to know?
I know what it is. You're talking to people, so you need to tell them what you want to know. You can't. You're so funny.
Yes, about Cartizze. Cartizze is the best area where we produce Prosecco. If you want to buy a little part of this area, it's very, very expensive. Some years ago, I spoke with a producer that they have land on this area, and they told me that 1 hectare, in English it was ettaro.
Hectare?
Yes, is about 5 milioni di euro.
5 million euros for an hectare.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But of course, it's a particular small little area, and they have the oldest grapes. You know,
and it is a part that is it's very happy in the area because they have the best sun, the best area that comes. So it's the best part where to produce for a lot of reasons. There is also sometimes used the word rive. That means that is produced in that particular area. So that part is the best, I say, for the sun part, the soil also, the soil that is very important, and also for the area that's go around.
Good. Okay. Have we said everything about Prosecco? Oh yes. How do we see a good Prosecco when we put it on a glass?
How?
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, you can use not the flute I don't love so much to drink on the flute. You can use a normal glass for wine, also for the red wine. So that's the same. For example, as my association, we use the same glass for all the wines where we are studying the winemaking. So you have to check on the bubbles if they still goes after 1 or 2 minutes. And then you can taste. It has to be it has to be in between 10 and 12 degrees for drinking. And as we say, you can drink with.
And it's got to be a very fine bubbles, like with champagne.
Yes, like in the champagne, yeah.
Coke is not a good Prosecco because it means that they added the gas or something to it, and it's not. Okay.
And if you are going to a bar and you ask for a glass of Prosecco, check if the Prosecco comes for a bottle or for the piscina, come si dice?
Tap. Yes, from a tap. Yeah, because exactly Prosecco by law can only be sold in bottles because it ferments in the stainless steel tank, and when it's ready to be fermented, it's put into bottle and the fermentation is stopped. If it was coming on a tap, it carries on fermented, so it can be. So if in America, in England, in Australia, you see Prosecco wine on a tap, it is not Prosecco. It could be Glera wine, but it's definitely
made in the area, probably, but not Prosecco.
Definitely not Prosecco. Okay, I think we covered the Prosecco. Let's move to the Valpolicella.
Okay, Valpolicella is quite more complicated.
First of all, where is Valpolicella?
Valpolicella. I don't have a map, but we are still in the Veneto region, and we are in the area of Verona. So we are a little bit north of
Venice?
Of Prosecco. Yes, also of the Prosecco area. No, I don't have a map. So we are in the area of Verona, the city of Romeo and Juliet, very close also to Lake Garda. Also, that area you can visit. There are very nice places also for spend 1 or 2 nights in little hotels or little romantic hotels. So we suggest also to visit over there. For the wine we want to talk about, for the Valpolicella, I made, but now Monica told me that it's not possible to understand what we are saying.
Of course,
So
because
what
you
I
knew
want to say,
what is the reverse all the time.
yeah, don't, okay, here we have, yes. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So we are, Prosecco was a white wine. I don't remember if we say at the beginning, but probably you already know.
Everybody knows that.
Now we talk about a red wine, an important red wine with a very long tradition. Because if you look on the history of the Valpolicella area, it comes from the Roman times. So from the Roman times, the wine was made on this.
Marco,
So starting from the beginning, here we have the Valpolicella wine. So Valpolicella, start with that. So Valpolicella is a red wine produced in this area, and this wine is made with 4 different grapes. So it's not only one grape, but it's 3 or 4 different grapes. So that is very important to understand that the flavor of the wine will be important, because we have different grapes that they give to the wine different, a different characteristic. So one of the color, one the flavor, one the strong of the wine. And also another important thing, different from the Prosecco, is that you can age the wine. So if
it's one of the best Italian wines to be aged.
Yes. For example, this is 2012. I don't know, but I think I will open in the next days. But I think that it could remain, so it's not a problem. So Valpolicella. So this is the main wine. It's called Valpolicella. A good bottle of Valpolicella, it will cost about 10, 12. It depends how much aged it is. But about this range of cost. The flavor of the wine is very interesting because I told you, it's a red wine with a very intense taste. So the most important flavor that you can have is the cherry. So the cherry is one of the taste of the most important perfume of the wine. The rose, we have very different kind of. So when you open, it's better to wait 1 or 2 minutes, then you can put your nose inside and try to move a little bit, just a little bit, and then you can start.
Pepper.
Yeah. Like most of the red wine. So it depends about the characteristic of the company that they produce. Yes, cherry.
Berries, cherries,
yes.
fruit of the forest, and so on. Yes.
And the aroma is quite strong because I say it's a red wine with that different kind of grape. The color also is very deep. I say
very intense.
Yes, very intense. Okay, with the Valpolicella. Okay.
Ferma. I'll stop you there. So, the Valpolicella. So the bottle you just showed was a Valpolicella. What?
Okay, this is a Valpolicella Superiore. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the majority of people know the Valpolicella Classico, and then we have a Valpolicella Superiore. We got another one that we'll talk about later. What's the difference between a Classico and a Superiore?
The difference is the time of aging the wine before to put in the bottle, and the time when you can sell the wine before. So the Classico.
And the alcoholic level as well, isn't it?
Yes. One more. One
point. One point
more. Yes. Yeah. So the aging and the alcohol, they are the main difference.
Yeah. Okay.
So the quality.
Okay. So I could be a producer. I pick my wine, whatever, I get it ready, and I could have a production of Classico or Superiore, according maybe even just to different parts of my vineyard.
Yes, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think also it depends on the year, because in some year you can have the enologo,
The wine,
the winemaker, I don't know, okay. They decided that it could be a kind of
enologist, that's it, enologist.
okay. It's a kind of grape that can remain more, so they have some characteristics. For example, if it is a rainy year, sunny year, hot or more cold, and so they decided what to do.
What's particular about this goes for all the Veneto wines, but particularly also for the Valpolicella. What grapes go into this wine that makes it so different from a Montepulciano, from a Nebbiolo, from those kind of wines?
In Italy we have very different kind of grapes, and so they are the four grapes that we are using inside are Corvina, Corvinone, Rondinella and Molinara.
And they are very particular because in Veneto we have a region that's got the highest number of indigenous grapes. Yes. And those are indigenous grapes. Grapes, that means grapes we only have in the Veneto region, nowhere else in the world. That's why Valpolicella can be produced only in Valpolicella.
Valpolicella, yes. And also the characteristic of the soil, they make the wine so different from the others. So they are the grapes, the soil, and the technique that they use for produce the wine. Mm-hmm. Then, with the Valpolicella, you can produce different kind of wine. What you have over there?
No, do you want me to take out the big guy, or do you want to talk about the other one? If we talk about the big guy now, then you can talk about the other one after, because then you mix the two things. Yes?
Yes. Okay, let's go.
So I'm taking my big guns. This is a bottle of Amarone della Valpolicella. Okay.
Because I don't have at home, so I can. So from the
Masuadi Iago, producer is from 1906, Recchia. From 1906, okay. And it's very nice. This was a present, but I drank it last year. This is a 2014.
Ah, okay. It was not a great year, but it doesn't matter because
I'm living in Vienna. It's okay.
Yeah. So from the Valpolicella, also from the ancient time, it's not a thing.
Sorry, Susan, which do you want me to spell the Valpolicella or the? Oh, this is called Amarone, Amarone, the most famous wine in the Veneto region. Definitely, and the most expensive too. Good. Go back.
So from the from the Valpolicella, you can have the Valpolicella we talk about, and then you can have two other different wines. We start with two. So you can have the Amarone, as Monica was showing you, and also you can have the Recioto. So they have two different kind of wine. The most ancient one, probably, yes, from the history, it was the Recioto. Recioto, yes. Recioto comes from the word
orecchio.
Yes, orecchio. Here, sorry. Here. And then you can have the Amarone, that are a different kind of wine. So Recioto, just for give you the main information, I don't want to spend all the time on that. So Recioto is more sweet, okay?
Yes.
Amarone is more bitter. So this is the point.
Bitter. But it's not bitter.
What you want to say?
Well,
sorry, yeah.
The Recioto is a sweet wine, because it's not
Recioto is a sweet wine.
The sweet wine, and instead Amarone is a proper dry wine.
Yeah, sorry, I was.
If it was bitter, bitter definitely not, and if but definitely not bitter. No, Amarone, don't Amarone this way, please. Go on.
So, what's happened with these two wines, so Recioto and Amarone? That they do the harvest of the grapes when it is the good moment. Normally, the good moment is in between end of September, beginning of October. It depends about the year, how much cold or how much hot it will be the summer. And so they take that grapes and they dried it. So they put in some cellar that the name, let's say the name of that kind of cellar. Put over there. Okay. And so they live over there inside of that particular environment, I say, for at least in between 100, 120 days. So this is the time of the grapes, the best grapes, we have to say, they remain before are transformed in the
and
wine.
it's actually all done, it's got by law, it's got to be hand-picked.
Yes.
And then, as far as I remember, it's put on this metal tray, but it's got to be like covered but open, so the air can circulate, so they dry out.
I think that is not like, for example, some passito that are made outside just with the sun, but is made inside of these particular rooms that they have. They live over there. They have to be here because they cannot become bad. So the things. And so they have to remain for, it depends, because I try to have the correct days, but it's in between 3-4 months before
I assume it depends on the grapes and on the winemaker that he decides when
they decide to produce, yes. They have to live inside over there, and so after 3-4 months they transform it in the wine. So the different thing about Recioto, that we repeat is sweet, and the Amarone, is in the moment when you decided to make the wine. So in the Recioto moment, there is still high percentage of sugar inside of the grape, and so the wine is more sweet than the Amarone one. Amarone, sometimes they say that was a mistake because they leave the grapes for more time, and so when they start make the wine, the sugar was already passed away, and so they have a very different wine that was more dry than the Recioto. For this reason and for the particular process they use for making the Amarone, is a wine that can age for a lot of time, and this is also the reason because for a good bottle of Amarone we have to spend about starting from €40. So this is
How long does it stay in the barrel before being bottled usually? Was that 2 years?
Yes, 2 years.
2 years
before, yes.
Okay.
So you can sell 2 years later.
Yeah, but one thing is, I can't remember who I was talking with, there is one great thing of Amarone, that even the cheapest is good. There are not bad Amarone. I mean, I don't think, or at least I was lucky, but about Amarone, I suppose because it's such an investment for the people to, for the winemakers to make it, that I'm pretty sure they want to make sure that is of a really high standard quality, I assume.
Yes, that's correct. And also, I have a very beautiful experience 3 years ago with some clients, because they were coming from the States. I don't remember where they come from, Ohio. It was a wine seller that sells also Amarone, and so they wanted to visit the cellar in the Valpolicella. So we went all together to visit. And it was very, very nice because it was a very little producer, not a very big one. The name is not very famous, but it was very interesting because you saw all the different, moments of the production, all the grapes in the rooms, and also they made for us a wonderful risotto con Amarone.
Oh, risotto with Amarone. It's such a pity to use it for risotto, because to be honest,
it's not a pity. And I think they told me that when you make risotto con Amarone, you have to use a lot of Amarone.
That's the point. I'd rather it goes down my throat rather than giving it to, I make risotto with something else.
But I love the risotto con Amarone. Yes, if it is made, good.
I have panettone made with Amarone this year.
I don't try that.
Oh, trust me, that was amazing. Probably one of the best panettone I ever made.
The topper part, no? What?
No, made with Amarone. Practically in the dough, when you mix in the dough to make it, the liquid that you use in part instead of being water is Amarone. You have got no idea how good it tastes. It was.
You have to write it down for the next year.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Anyway, so we got Ricciotto Amarone on one side. We have Valpolicella Classico and Superiore on the other. What's in the middle?
The father.
Yeah.
The father is the Valpolicella. And then we have another kind of, this is Valpolicella Ripasso. So we have the 4 wine made from from the Valpolicella.
What's this? What does it? Why? I don't know. But I do, but let's say I don't know Valpolicella. I go to a shop and I see Valpolicella Classico, Valpolicella Superiore, Valpolicella Ripasso, 3 different prices.
Yeah.
3 vineyard, 3 different prices. How do I choose? So what's the difference with a Ripasso? Why is it more expensive than a normal Valpolicella?
Because the Ripasso is made in a very particular way. Because they use I don't remember a mark. Now I remember the word in English. The mark of the Amarone. So they make Amarone, then they use the mark of the Amarone. They put on the mark the Valpolicella Classico, the Valpolicella, and so after that, you have the Ripasso wine.
Yeah. So practically, they put the wine to ferment.
You have a re-fermentation, so ripasso in English.
Where before there was the Amarone. So what's happening? It absorbs all the characteristic flavor, the aromas that left the Amarone, but it is not as aged. It's not as the same quality. So it's a better version of a Valpolicella. But I got to say,
yes. Also, if you look at the price, it's in a middle price in between the Amarone and the Valpolicella.
One thing I noticed one characteristic I particularly noticed talking to everybody when we talk about Valpolicella and Amarone, that there are wines that generally, they are very round in the mouth.
Yeah.
But the tannins are not so edgy, so we don't shoot out. They're more, easier to drink, let's say.
Yeah. Yes, I think that the long history of the wine makes makes the producer very wise in the production. So they know very very well the kind of grape they have, what they have to do. And so I think that at the end, the wine that they have in the bottle is really a very good wine for this reason, because they know very well the products from the beginning that they have. And so they can control.
You know what's very funny? That I found a book that when I used to live in England, we got, and it's a book that was printed. We bought it from a book sale, when you buy old books and stuff like that. Little markets, flea market and stuff. And it was a book on wines from the 60s. And it talks about the wines of Europe. And of course, he's talking about the wines of Italy. And when it comes to talk about the Valpolicella in the 60s, he defined them as they're great table wines, as in cheap, great table wines. Isn't it amazing that now 50 years, we've gone from having cheap, table wines to I got some noise going funny. Okay, from some cheap table wines to being very expensive and very structured wines nowadays.
I think that the people, they understand. They want to study. They want to understand more about the wine, and so they have different tastes from the past time. And I think also the production in Italia is very important. For us, is also a very important, let's say, part of the economy of the country. And so we don't want to make the mistakes that we make, for example, in the Barolo area some decades ago. So it's very important also for the taste of the people that change a lot in the years. Most of the people, they think that understanding wine is a very difficult thing to do. You have to make a course of 3 years or something like that. it's not that. So it's just a thing that you can try to understand also little by little, also
Yeah.
by yourself. So if
Yeah.
you buy a bottle of Amarone, and then you look on the website and you try to understand the flavor, you look over there and the make they produce it. And so it's not a thing for the elite of the people,
Yes.
it's just a thing that you can learn much more the more you drink. And
Yeah,
also,
I think it's a question that people need to. That's what we was talking about it with Elvia the other day, that she's a sommelier as well. We were saying that people need to go back to drink maybe less but better quality,
correct.
um, and to try to drink local wines.
Mhm.
Because that will match better with your food, and you support nowadays above all you get to support your economy is very important now, obviously. The last couple of months, but also I think that the more you drink good quality, not necessarily expensive wines, we're
No, no,
talking about
no.
don't go and spend €2 for a wine. That's what we're trying to say. The more you drink better and you drink less and you drink better, the more you don't want to go back to drinking bad. It's like if all of a sudden you stop drinking Coke, after a month, you don't want to go back to it because it will taste so horrible to you. That's the way it is. And it's the same with wine and any drinks, I think, and food as well. So,
And
yeah.
yes, and we have to remember that also wine is very connected with food. So yes, when you go to the restaurant now and you order a local dishes or something like that, the best thing is also to order a wine that comes from the region, because normally it's the most easier connection in between, and it's also very connected with the history of the place, so you can understand much more
Yeah.
about the history of the place.
Okay, two things. One, okay, we said the Prosecco all around. So from the beginning to the end of the meal, okay, we're done. Easy. Above all, if it's called Salizze, it definitely goes with everything. Valpolicella and the Amarone. What do you match it to?
Okay, Valpolicella, as it is a red wine, you have to choose a dishes that is not, it's not normally it's not the first course or the aperitifs. Is a wine that you can have with the second course, meat, second course. With the fish, we don't combine the two. It's not good. Otherwise, it has to be a fish very cooked in a very, very important way. For example, like anguilla or something like that.
Yes.
Not
Fish has got a lot of, that has very strong and a lot of flavor, because otherwise it disappears with the
Yes.
wine.
So it's a second course for the Valpolicella, meat second course, and for the Amarone, what I have to say is a wine that you can open for the meditation wine.
So no food, just meditate.
No, yes, that meditation with friends, that would be nice. Now meditating with friends, sharing, history of life, I say, after dinner. So after the dinner, you can open a good bottle of Amarone, and I think you will appreciate
Or during dinner with some good food. That's
Yes, with some good food. Yeah, it depends by the food.
yeah, that's
But also,
something important. Something like a boar or something like that. But that's got to live up to the strength of it as usual. Those people that those two wines that you showed, that I assume there were two different vineyards.
yeah.
Do you sell online, as far as you know? Have they got a website? Do you know anything about them?
I bought from a deliver.
Okay.
But I'm sure that they're quite sure that they have the website. One is Trabucchi di Lisi.
Okay.
This one, and the other one, where it is, it's over there. It's Villa Bella. That is one of a very famous product in
Okay.
the area.
Perfect. So what are you wearing today?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got literally 1 minute to say.
Yes, I'm wearing two jewelries from our friend Marisa Convento. So the earring and also the necklace.
Good.
So it's
Okay,
something
so
that I use a lot in the summer, but today I want to use also for my
but
for
now
our
I
cooking.
mean, it doesn't matter what time of the year, what time of the
Yes.
day, you can wear everything. So I'm pajamas all day long, so that's okay. Okay, Romena, what are we gonna talk about next time then? Shall we talk
Very good
about?
question.
Shall we talk about all the silly questions we get to hear in all these years of working with tourists in Venice? Gather also because it's going to be a couple of weeks at least before we talk again, so we should be able to gather a good.
We can talk about the funny questions.
Romena is already holding on Facebook. If you want to follow her as Rome in Venice, she's already got a little kind of daily kind of clip where every day she tells an FAQ. So some little funny questions we get as touring around Venice. Just give us one example.
Where are the cars, as you say?
And where are the cars?
Yes, or what the water come from? So because the people they imagine that we make excavation on the land and we produce the rivers, but the rivers were before us. So.
Or they ask you where are they? What was it? They ask you if you could swim, and you said, "Oh yeah, apart from the crocodiles."
Yeah. Not a good idea.
Romena, it was a pleasure. Now, don't go and drink all of the wine, please. Otherwise, you'd definitely be even more often you were today.
The problem is that the Prosecco we have to drink in the year, so I hope that we'll finish the lockdown.
Cecilia, I've got your two cases still waiting here from Consalitz.
And we have to celebrate also the birthday of Cecilia.
By the time we get out of quarantine, I think I might have to drink them all. Okay, Romena, it was a pleasure. I'll speak to you soon again, okay?
Ciao. Bye-bye.